again, and welcome to episode 2 of the Mighty Oaks podcast, the second ever episode, and proudly supported by Ray White Oakleigh, our first community partner. So big thanks to Ray White for jumping on board as a sponsor of the podcast. My name is Miles Fabris. I'm here again as your host. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see that Matt Girolami has also joined me again. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you very much. Glad to be back.
We have a new co-host this time. You'll notice that next to me is not Trent Shields from last week. I welcome Geoff Big Man Latham to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Miles. Good to be here.
Very good to have you, Geoff. Now, before we get into the episode, I just want to do another special shout out. Thank you to Ray White Oakleigh, our first community partner for the podcast. Long-time partners and established members of the Oakleigh community who have been helping our members with rentals, leasing and buying and selling for many years, including myself. Jimmy Ben, another member of the club, and I, when we rented together, we rented with Ray White Oakleigh. So shout out to them and thanks for jumping on board.
I remember Mum actually bought her house probably 5 years ago against, off Ray White as well. I know Trent's just selling a property now through them as well. So Beautiful. It's all happening.
Thanks to Ray White. Okay, now first off, before we get into the wrap-ups of round 3 and 4 in the VSDCA, we want to plug the Beer Pong and Karaoke night, which is happening this Saturday night, November 18th. This Saturday, here in the club rooms. Matt, do you want to tell us a bit more about the night?
Yeah, so it's going to be the second year that we've brought this major fundraiser back for the club. So details are that it will be here at the club after the game on the weekend. So it's starting at 8 o'clock. For those who can buy the early bird fee, so it's $30 for the early bird or $40 on the night. Wear your best dress ups and come and have a good night fundraising for the club.
And of course, beer pong tournament, teams of 2, straight knockout brackets. I did mention it last week, but I am a former winner of the beer pong tournament, so I'll be trying to come back and get another win.
As am I, actually.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Are we on a team?
No, not this year. That'd be unfair, I think.
Yeah, no, that's true. We've got to share it around. You're right.
Well, I remember playing you last year. Who got up in that one, or did I beat? Because I feel like
we got pretty far. I think we got semi-finals last year. Did we?
Yeah, but no. We played the groups.
We kicked your ass early on.
Yeah. Okay, then it must have been Vag that we smashed it.
Anyway, beer pong and karaoke night this Saturday, November 18th, here in the club rooms. It's going to be a great night. Hope to see you there.
Get around the outfits too. The dress-ups are always a big feature.
Yeah,
I know I've got
team outfits.
Something fun.
Have you got a teaser lined up for us?
I can't do a teaser. Nah, not without giving it away. I don't think.
Okay, fair enough.
It's going to be good. Maybe we just say that.
No, I hope so.
Okay, well, hope to see you there. Now, moving on to the first 11 wrap-up. So we're going to talk about round 3 and round 4. And we're very lucky this week that our very own Geoff Latham was playing in the first 11 in round 3 and round 4. So I'll throw it to you, Geoff. Tell us about round 3 against Baldwin.
Well, as an experienced ones player, of course.
Premiership player?
Premiership hero, you might say. So round 3 we played Baldwin. We came out and I believe we batted first, didn't we?
Sounds about right.
Yes, we did. We made 188. We didn't do too well right up the top. I think Harford and Jack Clark came out, steered the ship a little bit in the middle.
Actually, I might quickly, I jump in there, and we should note that round 3 was actually club debut and first 11 debut for Nathan Harford, who's come to the club this year and is also the assistant coach. He becomes OCC player number 391. And also a first 11 debut for Ayush Pithania, who becomes OCC first 11 player 392.
Yeah, and second 11 premiership player from last year.
Yes, first game in the one. So well done to those two boys, and keep going. How'd they go?
Yeah, well, I'll excuse you for cutting me off there because you did make a good point. Ayush Pithania, I'm going to struggle with his last name, but terrific to have him on board as well in the ones. He came through really well with the ball, stood up terrifically. I think he took 2 far, but we didn't quite defend our 188. I think we got done on the last ball of the second last over, so didn't quite go our way. I also bowled well, if you're wondering.
Yeah, well, so they got you in the last over, second last over, you say?
Second last over. I was going to bowl the last over. I probably would have saved it with one to win, but...
How many wickets did you take, Geoff?
2 for, I think, yeah.
2 for, and well done to Ayush, who also took 2 for.
Yeah, I mentioned that, didn't I?
The leading wicket takers. He may have. Said he bowled well.
He did. And he's come in his first 2 games and performed really, really well. So it's great to have Ayush on board, although he's missing the next 3 games.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ridiculous.
Add him to the list of the many outs we have as a club at the moment.
Yeah, but no, I think the ones are over the moon to have him on board. He's really solid bowler for us and provides some hitting down the order as well.
And was he awarded best on for us that game as well amongst the group?
Yeah, I had to give it up. It was awarded to me the week prior, so it was on me to award it. We've got a little Tonka truck, bit of fun. But yeah, I gave it to him after the game. He's 2 for through the middle and late bowled really, really well. But yeah, so yeah, he
very
took
good
that
effort on debut, absolutely. So just to recap, Oaks bat first, 188 all out, Baldwin chase at 6 down in the second last over. A couple of guys got 30. Pattinson, Clark, Harford and Gracie all got about 30, but no one could go on with it. So probably not quite a high enough score. And another narrow loss for the first 11. But we go into round 4 against Mount Waverley and we got our first win.
We did. Are we going to cut to Pearson to give us a bit of a rundown on that?
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit about the game first, and then we'll
no worries. Yeah, remember this one a little bit more than the previous. So
fresh in the mind.
We batted this game in probably not ideal conditions, but we went fairly well. Pearson and Harford got promoted up the order, actually. Got us off to a solid start. Harford looked good until he chunked out to square leg. Sorry, mate. And but no, Pearson played a really crucial role for us. Batted around the rest of the order, who all sort of was able to keep the score ticking over while he accumulated his big score of what did he make 93. Yeah, so 7 short.
Pearson, of course, Ryan Pearson, who is opening batsman and captain of our first 11. So a real captain's knock, led from the front, helped the Oaks post 6 for 211. James Pattinson also 55. And then we move in the bowling innings.
Yeah, bowling.
Any wickets this time, Geoff?
No, but 3 really, really good overs. That's what I've been telling everyone. 3 of the best overs you'll ever see for no wickets, and then going at about 5, I think.
Bowling and partnerships, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But nah, again, Ayush did really well. Pearson took 2 or 3, and Gracie cleaned up the tail, you could say. But
Matt Grace, coach of the club, took 4 for 28.
Yeah, but took the 2 big wickets in the middle. They had a big partnership going through the middle and knocked over those 2 that were scoring all the runs. So crucial wickets to get us back on top.
Well bowled, Gracie. And we got the win, of course, bowling Mount Waverley out for 177, winning by about 40 runs, and finally getting that first win on the board.
And plenty of beers after.
Yeah, really, actually, it's worth noting, it really was a really good vibe at the club. This was a home game, the first 11 won. A lot of the boys from the seconds, thirds and fourths came back to the club, all sat around as a club, down in the club rooms, played some music, and enjoyed a win. It was a really, really good night for the club and great for our first to get a win on the board. And that takes them to overall 1 win, 2 losses and 1 tie in the first 4 rounds. And I actually caught up with First 11 captain Ryan Pearson, who told us a little bit about the game and how he felt and how his innings went. So let's hear from First 11 captain Ryan Pearson now. I'm here on the training track with First 11 captain Ryan Pearson, following the round 4 victory of the First 11 against Mount Waverley and the retaining of the Monash Community Shield. Pearson, well done in the first win for the team. How did you feel about the game?
Thanks, Miles. Yeah, it was really good. It was good to get the monkey off the back, I guess. It was a pretty good all-round performance from the boys. So, yeah, wrapped. We got the 6 points and got our season underway.
And you yourself opened the batting, played a real captain's knock, scored 93. Well done. How did you approach your innings, and are you proud of that innings?
Yeah, thanks, mate. No, it was really good. It was good to finally get some runs. Probably haven't made too many over the last year and a half. So I sort of set myself to bat the innings. We sort of had anyone really bat sort of that 80, 90, 100 balls. So I sort of set myself to do that and sort of anchor the innings, which I thought, worked out well in the end. Got a few runs, which was good. And the rest of the boys chipped in and, we got the 6 points.
And apart from yourself, who would you say was standout performances from the team?
Obviously James Pattinson with 55 and took a wicket. Fletch bowled the house down, 7 overs for not many, and Gracie with 4 for. And then the blokes in the middle order, sort of Jack, Dill, and Gracie they sort of sacrificed their games a little bit and winning a run of ball and got us to 200 in the end, which was a massive score out here, which was good.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about on the podcast a bit the amount of changes we've had in the first 11 over the last 2, 3, 4 years with a lot of new players. How do you think the team's gelling together, and what can we expect for the rest of the season?
I think the team's gelling really well. We've had a really good vibe around the group sort of the whole time. And I think just winning on the weekend sort of took a bit of the pressure off the boys, and hopefully from here on out we put some really good performances on the board. I think we just needed that first win to get us going, and we really just got back to basics with how we play our cricket, and hopefully expect a few more wins going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Pearso. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Pearso, and well done again. Captain's knock and the first 11 get a win. So moving on to the second 11, round 3, also against Baldwin. The second 11 posted their 3rd win out of 3 games, so really good start from the twos. In this game, Oakleigh batted first, posted 4 for 232, which at the Baldwin ground is pretty good going. It's usually a pretty low, slow, thick outfield. So to get 232, really, really good. The standout batsman, Jimmy Benn, coming down from the first, got 46 off 49 and hit a very big boy 6 runs, I heard. None of us were there, so we'll take their word for it. But the real star of the day was Jordan Brambleby, hitting 78 not out off 77 balls. Putting on a really handy partnership as well was Sagar, who got 29 not out off 31. So those two at the end really propelling the score to 232.
Just on Jordan there, I believe he channeled his inner Glenn Maxwell by the time he got to about, 40.
Did he really?
Was really struggling to get to the other end.
I thought you were going to say reverse sweep.
No.
He's
He's not that good. No, cramps, not moving, not moving his legs to any deliveries, and just hoping for the best. I believe this is what I'm heard. This is all second.
His 9
second
boundaries
news.
does probably indicate that there was a bit of that going on.
But hey, if it works, 78 not out, you'll definitely take it.
Mr. Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, well done, Geordie. And moving on, 232. Baldwin ended 9 for 183. Oakleigh were, I think, pretty comfortable all the way through. They got a couple of early wickets and never really looked like they were going to lose. Well bowled again to Tom Ison and Matt Tyson, who each got 2 wickets. Both of those guys have been really, really good for the twos so far this year with the ball. And I think Latho, you might go into that a little bit later. But the hero with the ball was Josh Peake, coming down from the first, took 4 for 15 off his 8 overs, a couple at the top and a couple at the end. Big, quick opening bowler, and done really well for the twos to win that game. So round 3 versus Baldwin, win.
Awesome to see a big response from Peaky as well. Obviously, never nice to come down. Happened to me millions of times, but I haven't necessarily responded that well after doing so. So that's a huge response from him, and I think everyone was really glad to see that.
Yeah, well
The
done,
specimen.
Josh. The specimen. The Kiwi specimen.
Yep.
Choice, bro.
Moving on to round 4 was against Mount Waverley away, and unfortunately it was the first loss of the season for the twos. Mount Waverley batted first and made 6 for 247, which is a very tall order to chase that down in 45 overs, and I think it's fair to say they just got too many runs. Tom Ison and Matt Tyson again in the wickets. Tom with 3 and Matt with 2 were the pick of the bowlers, but maybe were the pick of a not-so-flash lot of bowlers. Speaking to the skipper, Matt Stamps, was pretty flat after the game, said it was a pretty all-round disappointing performance from the whole team, and hopefully is just an off day and they can move on and jump back on the horse and get back to winning in round 5. In the end, chasing the 247, we were 164 all out. Manny Kinga got 33, Nick Thurgood got 41, but no one really took control. And unfortunately, they lose.
I don't know what you heard, but Turtle certainly told me he took control with his 41.
Turtle being Nick Thurgood.
Sorry, yeah, my apologies, Oakleigh jargon. But he he certainly told me all about every one of his 41 runs. Funny, I didn't hear anything about his bowling, but heard plenty about that. Fun fact for this game as well, actually, was played at Pinewood Park, Pinewood Oval.
Pinewood Reserve. I think
Pinewood
it is,
Reserve,
which is normally
yes.
the 3s and 4s ground for Mount Waverley.
And I actually had a secret mission for little Matt Tyson. Asked him to get a tally of how many times Matthew Stamps spoke about his 4th 11 flag that, well, I would say he won, but we won. I was in that team as well.
Our only 4th 11 flag.
Only 4th 11 flag back in 2010-11. He did take 8 for, I think, and whacked a couple of impressive 6s. So I was curious to see how many times he mentioned that on the weekend. And Tyso came back with 43 mentions. So
43 mentions.
I thought that was unders for Stampsy.
That's one every 2 overs, just about, for the day.
Yeah. So I thought my over-unders was going to be 50. So a little bit unders, but good effort.
What was that paying?
Well, now you've mentioned it on the podcast as well, so you can make it 44.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am glad you brought up Matt Stamps, captain of our second 11, and has been a stalwart and played many, many years for the Oakleigh Cricket Club. This was actually his 250th game for the club, so we congratulate Matt Stamps. Well done on your 250 games. And I actually was lucky enough to catch up with him at training and have a bit of a chat. So let's hear from Matt Stamps. I'm here with Matt Stamps, captain of the second 11, following his 250th match for the Oakleigh Cricket Club on the weekend. Matt, congratulations on playing 250. What does that mean to you?
Thanks, Miles. Yeah, it means a lot. Really proud of it. Getting halfway to the old man. It's a good start.
Absolutely. And let's talk about when you started at Oakleigh. How old were you? Why did you come down and play cricket at Oakleigh?
Well, I would have been 14 or 15. Nearly 20 years ago now. And, I think most people would know, but the obvious answer is probably because the old man played 500 games here, so I was never really going to play anywhere else.
So you've played here for almost 20 years, you just mentioned. Is there a moment or a performance or a match that's particularly memorable, or is your favourite of your time here?
There's a third 11 game probably 10 or 15 years ago that I played with the old man. We took all 10 wickets between us. Dad even got a run out, so that would have to be it.
That's a pretty awesome memory. And now for the first time, you're captain of one of our sides, captain of the second 11. We're 4 rounds into the season. Maybe a quick word on how the team's going and how you're finding captaincy.
Look, I'm enjoying it. I wasn't too sure. It's not something I've done before, the odd game here and there, but really enjoying the challenge. And look, the boys are going well. We're 3-1. Probably didn't quite put the performance we would have liked in on the weekend, but 3-1's a pretty good start.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again. Thanks for joining us. Back to you. That was Matt Stamps on his 250th game. Congratulations, Matt Stamps. Matt, you've got some career stats for us.
Yeah, so Stumper, I've got 425 wickets at a handy 15.95 across his career.
Amazing.
Best figures of 8 for 16. I'm guessing that would have been
that might have been the grand final.
No, that wasn't the grand final. That was the third 11 game at Moorabbin, because I was playing that game.
Oh, yeah?
And Matt opened the bowling with Gary Iverson. Gary Iverson took 1. And there was a run out, and Samty was filthy that he did not get more than 8 that day, and I think we were chasing 21.
Oh my. And then he's also had 14 5-wicket hauls. He's also taken 73 catches in the field. But what impressed me the most was that he actually goes at 15 with the bat as well. So good for a few handy runs down the bottom.
Definitely a handy bat.
Don't mention that. No, well, he's going to love that way too much.
Good on him. He's played 250 games. He can have his moment.
He should bat more than he does.
Yeah.
He's got 2 shots. He's got a broom and a slog over mid-wicket, I reckon.
Well, it's won him 7 premierships as well. 2 second 11 premierships, 4 third 11 premierships, and the club's only 4th 11 premiership.
No, very impressive, Matty Stamps.
Outstanding. Well done, Matt. We congratulate you. Now, I just remembered, Geoff, we talked about the first 11 round 4 against Mount Waverley, which we won.
We did.
And there's something very special about the OCC first 11 games against Mount Waverley. And I actually would like to present you and congratulate you for retaining the City of Monash Community Shield for the 6th time. So congratulations. And here you are.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just a quick fun fact. I don't know how much I can say about this, but this does have a fair bit of history. Sure, we've only won it 6 times, but on the very first win, we figured we definitely couldn't lose the shield because there's no way we could give it back to Mount Waverley. After
it's a treasured shield around Oakleigh Creek. Maybe we'll leave it at that.
If you want to know, talk to Spike, Ben Pinwell. He's got a few stories about
An OCC legend, Ben Pinwell.
his alter ego, Dennis the Menace, and the shield. So, it's a pleasure to have it back, and I'm bloody glad we didn't have to hand it over.
Congratulations. And the real fun fact of that is that we've actually always retained that shield since its inception.
Well, we've needed to.
It has always belonged to Oakleigh. So we used to play it every year when Oakleigh and Mount Waverley were in the same group. Now we only play it once every 3 years, so it's a little bit easier to retain. But we retain it again for another 3 years.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, well, that's the first and second 11. And now we come to a very special segment, a brand new segment, brought to you by Big Man himself. Geoff, let's throw to you for your segment, What's Hot and What's Not.
All right. What a great intro.
Thanks.
So we don't have a sponsor just yet, but I thought because we don't, I'd chuck Turtle's beanie on. Thank you for the beanie, Turtle. It's
Turtle's
Landscapes and Construction.
Geoff has the beanie on for those listening.
The purpose of plugging them is that he's booked in to do my backyard. So
you want him to
really,
do a good job.
really hope. Well, of course, but short on funds at the moment. So if you can help me out,
you
Turtle,
want him to
that'd be
do
great.
a good job for cheap.
Please. Yes, what's hot and what's not. Basically, they're coming in pairs. I'll go through something that's hot around the club, something that's exciting and fun around the club, and then something that's a little bit less or lacking some fun and excitement around the club.
All right, let's hear 'em.
So first, as an example, we'll run through a bit of a vanilla couple. What's hot is the Thursday night splatty meal deal, which we have on selection nights, but every Thursday night after training. The splats are the mother and father of 2 ex-players, Glenda and Peter. They do an exceptional job feeding us. Thank you very much.
We love you, splatties.
That's definitely hot every Thursday night.
That is
so
hot.
Get down.
Strong start.
Everyone's invited. What's not is the frog box issues we've been having live streaming our games at Warrawee Park.
Showing the second 11 scores while we're broadcasting the first 11 game. That's an interesting
there was a bit of a
experience.
mix-up on the weekend. We're working on it.
We are working on it. Not going to throw anyone under the bus, but Milo, I was heard that you were trained up that first week. But anyway,
what I heard actually was that the Mount Waverley game on the weekend was meant to be a Mount Waverley home game, but because their ground is out of action, they played it here. So the fixture was actually maybe the thing that messed it up. But yeah, if you were watching the live stream on last Saturday, you were viewing the first 11 game with the scores of the second 11 game. So that would have been pretty confusing, and we hope it doesn't happen again.
It's all right, though. It's I've been assured it's all hands on deck to get it sorted for this weekend, or as soon as possible. All right, so into the more juicier stuff now, I suppose. So what's hot is seeing some young fellas come through the grades, like we spoke about in the twos. We've got Matty Tyson and Tom Ison dominating with the ball. Ayush has come up to the ones and killing it as well. Mm-hmm. Really good to see some youth coming through and progressing through the grades. What's not hot is the pesky fines masters who pop me for stuff all. On the weekend, get this, on the weekend...
Does this count as arguing the fine?
Yeah, is this a blow?
Sorry, go on.
Look, take it for what it is, boys. I had a couple mates that came down on the weekend, came to sit up in the grandstand.
Came to support you, came to watch you game.
Came into the grandstand where we sit when we're batting, all right? And I go to sit with them for a little while, make sure that, their presence is appreciated. And at the end of the game, I find out that James Ritchie has fined me $18.
That's steep.
Imagine that.
What is it like? How many friends do you have?
Not many, but
Was it
two
like
of them came
a couple
down.
bucks a friend?
Not $18 worth.
So I'm splitting that with them. They've copped $6 each.
Jeez.
Um,
Last time they're
Real
coming
club man.
Another thing that's hot is getting to train on the turf nets after being in the indoor nets for the preseason and then on the Syntho for some of it as well. Getting to train on the turf nets is absolutely elite. What's not hot is making Turtle run a lap at the end of training because he couldn't execute a Yorker. Personally, I had to hear about that for days.
Yeah. Not hot for the rest of us. He was pretty hot, though.
He was steaming. And we also had to wait for him to finish the lap as well. So, Gracie, please.
Don't call him Turtle for nothing.
Running backwards.
Oh,
Fell in the hole.
Moving on.
What's hot is the coaching unit. Gracie and Half are doing a great job. They're bringing a lot of new ideas to the group, promoting a really strong culture. I think they're making a really good stamp on the group. What's not hot is Gracie pulling the boys in for 15 minutes, for a chat for 15 minutes post the warm-up so that we cool down while he's delivering his message. Great messages. But we're cooling down while he's delivering his message before we start training. Probably not so hot for the muscles.
We're all not hot after that.
No one's hot after that.
Well, I don't know what's worse, that or when he asked Fateh to do the re-warm up afterwards. He said no.
Stood there looking at each other for, I reckon,
It was a good stare down.
30, 45
There's
seconds.
a longer stare down than
still
there was
warm.
here at the club for the new players night.
Oh, yeah.
All right, and the last one that I've got here is what's hot is the tea in the ones, the afternoon tea in the ones.
Outstanding.
Exceptional. We've got snetty rolls. Nathan Harford's bringing cob loaf. It's like a cheese and bacon cob loaf.
Is he making that himself?
I wouldn't have thought so, but he's bringing it.
Good effort.
He's bringing it. There's pizza, allotment of fruits, cream and jam scones. We had the Spuddies brought that on my behalf. The other week.
Do you mean for you?
Well, I won it.
There was
I
two
won it.
platters,
Oh, okay.
one for him and one for everyone else.
Actually, I'm not sure if we've got the big wheel in the picture, but on a Thursday night, I won the Splatty scones after a
new prize.
Yeah, new prize for the big wheel. So, thank you, Salmon, for running that, and thank you for the splats. So I didn't have to provide tea, but elite tea in the ones.
Mm-hmm.
What's not hot is the captains, particularly Pearson, deciding to bat first, meaning that I don't get to have any of the good stuff at tea. I'm stuck to the watermelon and the oranges at tea because I have to bowl straight afterwards.
Yeah,
So
that hurts.
really, really need you to pick your performance up, Pearson. I don't care if you're winning the toss or losing it. We need to bowl first.
Of course, because you bat at what number?
A little bit lower than it should be, so about 9 or 10 at this point.
Yeah, so you can load up when we're batting
Absolutely
after tea.
load up. If I'm bowling first, I'm stuffed, I've had a water, I've come upstairs, and I should be able to pig out on the lovely spread that the boys have supplied for us.
Hopefully one day soon, mate. You'll be able
One
to.
day soon. I should, while I'm mentioning tea, give Wendy a plug. She does a
you, Wendy.
fantastic job getting our teas sorted while we're playing. So she's
it is-
absolutely elite.
It's great to see the tea back.
It is.
So
it
many
is.
years with COVID, we
And-
were not allowed to bring a shared tea. but
And
it's
we've
back.
got drinks coming back out. We've got the cart
wonderful.
of drinks with cordial and the glasses.
glasses out in the field.
It is. It's nostalgic.
Cricket is back.
Oh, cricket is back. It's great to have it back.
Be sure to check out the social media as well to vote on all those what's hot and what's not. They'll be out on our story around the time of the podcast release, so keep your eye out for
No
that.
picking on me either, please.
And well done, Geoff. That was what's hot and what's not for the first time ever. Thank you, Geoff. Now, let's move on to the third 11 and talk about their games. Round 3, they played Endeavour Hills and had a win. They batted first, posted 8 for 187.
Top scorers, James Francis, 52 not out of 58, and Carlos Wakefield, 43 off 63, who's had a really good, solid start to the season from Carlos. And then in response, Endeavour Hills were all out for 159, and Carlos took 3 for 33 off 9. So fair to say, 40-odd and 3 for. He was probably man of the match for that game.
Carlos, the Pommy, lovely work. I think Demesh stepped in as captain.
Yes,
for that as well. Was that his first
out?
Yep, out in America supporting his partner, fiance now, I think. Fantastic work, Anthony. But Demesh filling in as captain, probably batting James Francis a little bit too low down the order. I don't know.
I played a fair bit of junior cricket with James Francis, and there wasn't many games he was coming down to number 8. So promotion the next week was definitely on the cards.
Good Demesh. Yeah, probably only make that mistake once, I think.
Yeah, well, top scoring at number 8 with a not out, pretty handy. So well done to the threes for winning in round 3. And then in round 4, unfortunately, the opposite result. They had a loss to Caulfield on the weekend just past. They batted first. Were only able to post 8 for 123 off their 45. So probably fair to say they'll look back on that and think they could have posted a higher score and could have maybe tried to push things along a bit, but I'm sure they'll learn from it. Top scorer, Carter Bilbra, with 45 out of 120. So well done, Carter.
So you're telling me they performed better with Jimmy Francis down the order?
Oh, batted from the previous game.
Yeah. Well, they won. They won when he batted at 8 and got promoted up to 5. Maybe I take that back. Maybe you should bat at 9 for the next one.
Is that where the specialist? That's where the specialists bat. Hey?
Yeah. Bang on.
Anyway, so they made 123. Caulfield, fair to say they probably cruised to a degree. They ended up 6 down when they passed us in the 33rd over. Well done to Tommy Miles, the People's Champ, and Fateh Singh, who both took 2 wickets. And overall, that puts the third 11 at 1 win, 2 losses, and a draw. Well done on the win thirds, and looking to bigger and better things in the rounds to come. Now, moving on to the fourth 11. I'll throw to you, Matt.
Sweet.
Fourth 11.
Fourth 11. Fair bit happened in the fourth 11 the last couple of weeks. So, as mentioned in the last episode, we were playing Endeavour Hills in round 3. So, obviously, the Chapel Wirracoon Shield, which we touched on in the last episode. But not only that, we had 2 club debutants, Andrew Thakur and Finton Araistrick. Finton joining us from Caulfield from last year. Actually got me out both times we played Caulfield. So
no way.
Glad to see the back of him and seeing him on in my team.
Was it good bowling on his behalf or a mistake on your behalf?
Knowing me, it was a bit of both. But
okay.
It was actually, remember at the start of last year, we had 7 weeks where we had cricket called off and we played Caulfield for the first game.
A lot of rain, yeah.
Yeah. And we're playing Caulfield at Caulfield Park, and I've come out to bat, and he's bowling quite quick, and I said, but play quick, and then he's put one straight through me, golden duck. So I had to wait another week on top of the 7 weeks I already had to actually hit a ball for once. But yeah, so good to see him on our team, and Andrew Thakur, a bit of an all-rounder. Good to have him in the club as well. So in terms of batting, posted 130 off our 40 overs. Probably ended up being a little bit too little, with Tom Murphy, Raf Parton putting on a really good partnership in the middle there. And Cam Chappell and Joel Ajani with a bit of suicide running towards the end, but it meant that we put on an extra 20, which were pretty handy runs. They ended up passing us with about 3 balls to go, actually 9 down.
Close finish.
It was a very, very close finish. Notable wicket takers, Andrew Thakur on debut, 2 for 16.
Well done.
And Joel Ajani with 2 for 12 off his 8. Although I'm not going to give him too much of a shout out because apparently he wouldn't stop listening to my shout out last episode. Had it on repeat.
It's
in the
too
car.
late now. You've already done it.
Like your ringtone.
Yeah, well, apparently he nearly did. So, moving on to the next week, we played Caulfield at Caulfield Park. Another returning prodigal son, actually, Raul Surendran. Back after his little sabbatical, were
you guys here when Gary Iverson gave him a massive rap at training? I think on the Thursday night.
Yeah, on the Thursday, and he's come back. He's like,
"We're getting Raz back." I don't know if anyone's been that excited about someone coming back to the club.
Oh, he loves him. He loves him like he's his own son, I reckon.
Well, to be fair, I think he came out and did a decent job. So.
He's got quite a few sons, so that's saying something.
Yeah, true that. And playing Premier Cricket, Jack, as well. But yeah, so came out. Actually had Caulfield 3 for 5 at the start of their innings, with brilliant bowling from Raz. And Joel Ajani starting us off. Unfortunately, the middle order got away from us a little bit. 3 boys posted 50 from their team. But notable bowlers were definitely Raz. Joel bowling into the wind would have been a really difficult task.
Pretty strong breeze, I heard.
Yeah, very strong breeze at the start. And Craig Johnson, Harry Cashman bowled really well in the middle, and then Andrew closed it out with some great death bowling. Set us a real big chase. And then, they always say age gives experience, and we had the plentiful experience of Andrew Donahue, Ryan Chappell, and Craig Johnson, who pretty much built our innings.
3 Oaks legends.
Yeah.
The old boys getting it done.
Exactly. So gave us a bit of a chase. So gave us a bit of a chance.
Chasing 200?
Chasing 200. Gave us a bit of a chance towards the end, and then some great power hitting towards the end from Joel Ajani and Rahul Surendran, including one big boy straight back over the bowler's head. You were there. That was a very big hit.
So I was about to say, unfortunately, I still haven't played with an injury, but I was able to come down to this 4th 11 game and watch the latter half of the chase. And to chase 200 in 40 overs with such a young team, like you essentially had the three old boys, and then all under,
I think
under
it's
20s.
3 old boys, me at 21, and then everyone else.
Yeah,
under that.
It was amazing. And yes, so chasing 200, Craig Johnson and Ryan Chappell both contributed heavily with 46 and 40 respectively. But when Chaps was run out in what some are describing as a horrific decision, it was me.
Horrendous.
And Chaps was flying. He was 40 off 30 balls. But then it was left to, Joel Ajani and Rahul Surendran, 2 young blokes who needed to score it. Over a run of ball?
It was over a run of... I think the equation when Joel went out to bat would have been 82 off 76 or something like that.
Amazing.
But yeah, to have the composure to go out there, bat with Chaps until he went out, and then Raz to come in and smack them around, and then Finn against his old club, hitting the winning boundary to seal the game.
God, he would love that.
Oh, he loved it. He came off and he was absolutely lapping it up. But it was a really good all-round effort, and I think this win will give us real good confidence heading into the rest of the season. It's kind of given the boys a bit of belief, which
absolutely
is really good.
And it should. And it was those 2 guys, Razza and Joel Ajani. They almost got you there. They put on a partnership, got it to within 3 or 4. Joel got 17 off 18, and Raz got 27 not out of 21 balls, including, as you said, a very, very nice 6 straight back over the bowler's head.
Which is funny because Craig was actually saying to him earlier in the week, can you bat? Where do you bat?
Yeah.
And he said, no, I've got this. I can bat. And he put him at 9 because he wasn't quite sure what the
9
lower order would look like.
Yeah, specialist.
It is.
Yep.
Specialist batsman 9. And composure 3 4s and 1 big boy, and helped us seal out the game.
Yeah, so really well done, and it puts the 4th 11 2 wins, 2 losses. So pretty obviously even start to the season, but as you said, take massive confidence out of that win. That was a really, really good win against a very experienced Caulfield team as well.
Definitely.
So well done to the 4s. Now moving on to the 5th 11, as we mentioned last week, our 5s play on a Sunday. They play all one-day games, and they play in a different competition in the Mercantile League. Round 5, they had round 5 and 6. Round 5, they played the Victorian Vikings, which provided a bit of WhatsApp fodder in the scoring for that day. But the Vikings lived up to their name and smashed a big score of 259. Well done to Josh Kerr, who took 4 for the Oaks, and Harry Cashman and Vijay Gatta also got 2 each. But unfortunately, 259 was a little bit too much for us to chase. All out for 108. Top scorer Matt Johnson with 26. So unfortunately, copped a loss in round 5. In round 6, they played against Malvern, batted first, and were all out for 97.
Yep.
So
opening partnership of Ben Salmon and Tom Ison called up late call-ups with a couple of dropouts.
Wow.
Who traditionally would probably bat at number 9.
Yeah, 9 and 10 would probably be their appropriate positions. I believe Ben bats at 9 for the 3s and Tom bats at 10 for the 2s. So
Might have made runs if they did.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So what was their opening partnership?
So their opening partnership ended up being 33 of the 98.
Look, of 97, that's
Of
pretty
97.
solid.
I've seen worse. I've seen
Yeah,
worse.
so and then Archer Johnson came out at number 3 or 4, ended up with 28 himself, and then Malvern chased it 2 down. Ben Salmon taking both wickets, finishing on figures with 2 for 10.
So yeah, unfortunately another loss for the 5s. That puts them overall 1 win, 2 losses, 3 draws, I think.
with a couple of washouts early on in the season. We'll quickly touch on the veterans team, who also play on a Sunday one-day games. They've only played one game since the last episode, and they had another win against Mont Albert Gold. They are 3 wins, 0 losses in what I think is only a 7-match home and away season.
7 match.
But 3-0, that puts them first on the ladder. So
That's
go
a
the
good
old
start.
boys. Very good start. Well done to the vets.
Am I seeing this right? Did Ryan Chappell take 2 wickets with his toppies,
So I heard this. Yeah.
including a caught and bowl?
Yeah. Chaps,
Disgusting.
not normally a noted bowler, but well done. Twofer.
You know what? He got a couple of overs a couple of years ago when Trent got injured, and we needed someone to as
we
a
didn't stop
stopgap.
hearing about that for
Right.
weeks.
But his overs are slowly creeping. Like, he hadn't bowled for ages before that, and now he's slowly getting more and more overs every week, including the idea a couple of weeks ago he threw to Craig against Mount Waverley, where he wanted to have a bowl because the pitch would have maybe given him a little bit extra than what the paces were getting.
Yeah,
So
the pitch suits my bowling. yeah. That's a good
Heard
one.
that.
yeah, so I don't know. It's very interesting to see that he's sort of getting these overs back into him. But yeah, good on him. Too
Oh,
far.
well, absolutely.
He's
Well
leading
done.
wicket taker for that game.
So yeah, well done to the vets. First on the ladder. Keep up the good work, fellas. Now we'll quickly touch on the juniors. Wanted to mention again, like we did last time, the under-12 Alana's team, which is the all-girls team coached by Hish Fernando here at Oakleigh Cricket Club. In their 4 games, they've got 2 wins, 1 loss and a draw. So going well, the girls. And they once again headed down to a Big Bash game to support Alana King, a former Oakleigh player who is now playing in the Big Bash for the Perth Scorchers. I think she just took her 100th BBL wicket as well, so joins that club. Well done, Alana.
Yeah, on the news again. Channel 7 hooking them up with an exclusive interview again, and got to meet their cult hero Alana again. So
Yeah, awesome.
really cool experience for them.
Getting
And-
those bright yellow shirts on the big screen, I'm
Yeah.
loving it.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, they were on the coverage once again, Channel 7 this time. Keep an eye out on the Oakleigh Cricket Club Instagram page and our other socials. We'll be looking to post that pretty soon. But really, amazing work. Go the Alanas and go Alana King. And well done, Hish. And then very briefly, we'll take a look at the other junior teams. We've got the under-11 Carlos team with 0 wins, 2 losses and a draw, just finding their feet. The under-11 Webb team, 1 win, 2 losses. Under-13 Pattinson, 1 win, 3 losses. Under-15 Harford, 2 wins and a loss. And the under-15 Pearson team with 3 wins and 0 losses, so 3-0. So the under-15 Pearson team getting it done early in the season. Well done to the boys down there. Okay, and that's the juniors done, and that brings us pretty much to the end of episode 2 of the Mighty Oaks podcast. Thank you for watching us on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. But before we go, we just want to plug one more time the OCC Beer Pong and Karaoke night, which is this Saturday night, the 19th. It's going to be a really exciting night. I was just wondering, boys, once we finish the beer pong, we get to the karaoke, what's your go-to karaoke song?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Proclaimers. I think it's I'm Gonna Be.
500 Miles?
500
One of my
Miles,
favourites too.
whichever it is. Yeah, big fan of that. I think I got the
Did you
Mickey
sing-
taken out of me a little bit last year. Jimmy Ben, the pest that it can be sometimes, really got on the back of me yelling I'm Gonna Be rather than
The rest
singing
of the
it.
song?
Yep, and he seemed to get this trend around the club going, I'm a bee.
And despite that, you're going to bring it back and go again?
Absolutely. I've got to prove myself, I think. I've got a point to prove. Jimmy can be a bit of a poor singer himself, so I'd like to see him, get out there early on and
yeah, okay.
give us something.
Challenge thrown. Matt, any go-to karaoke
Well,
songs?
I've already kind of picked out my song for this week. I'm hoping that we can get it available, but I do have mine, but I won't reveal it because it might reveal my
Ooh, okay.
costume. So
bit of a
if you
tease.
if you do want to see it, make sure you get down. But yeah, just touching on Jimmy Ben, I've got to say, for costumes last year, he and his sister switching and going as each other. That was very good, and she definitely emulated the Jimmy Ben we all love and know
Did
so well.
There's
Was
been
the-
a few
was
Jimmy
there a
Ben
best
costumes.
dressed prize? Are we doing that?
I'm not sure if we are, but there were a few pretty good best dressed last year.
Maybe best dressed gets first choice karaoke song.
Yeah, and we'll go with that, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely a few highlights. Like, I mean, Trent and Chaps coming as Buddy from Hawthorn and Buddy from Sydney was an interesting selection. But
That's good. I like that.
the others, there were a few very good costumes.
What about yourself? Do you ever go to karaoke?
Go-to karaoke song. I know Nickelback is pretty popular. Gets a bit of a run. Shout out.
No, that's Gracie's
Shout
song.
out to the coach. No, I know that. So I'm hoping to hear that. I don't necessarily sing it. But yeah, maybe like I don't mind a little bit of Kanye West, even though maybe that's
Controversial?
Yeah, not the best these days, but there are a few classics there that I
Might be
Get on the mic.
a few Swifties that won't be too happy with that, but
No, that's my missus. She'll
the
go
less
Swiftie.
the less Taylor Swift we have that night, the better. Don't at me. Anyway, that brings us to the end of episode 2 of the Mighty Oaks podcast. My name is Miles. We've been Geoff and Matt. Thank you, boys, for joining me tonight. Well done. Follow us on YouTube if you're watching or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Follow our Instagram. You'll see the screen up there now. So thank you very much. Mighty Oaks podcast. See you next time.